hold the asset for 6 years or over, the rate that is the top rate of now 20% would still apply. But if you hold investment, say, for 2 years, you would be taxed, if you pay the the top tax rate, you'd be taxed at the ordinary income rate of 39.6. Currently, you only pay that top rate if the asset's held for less than 1 year. So she extends that period out, and then there's a sliding scale down. The idea is to push out investment toward a longer term, move away from quick return investing. Her argument is that this will expand the productivity of the economy over the long run. It is worth saying that Britain tried this approach some years ago and abandoned it. They had a sliding scale over time as well, decided it wasn't so effective. Now they're back to a flat rate, but her argument is it will make some difference.
Let's turn to Larry Kudlow, and something tells me you're not going to like this proposal, Larry.
Well, I just want to say one thing. John Harwood, well done for bringing up the British example. Thank you for that. I had it in my notes. You beat me to it, and you're the best in the business. Now, I am completely opposed to this. It's anti-growth. It's anti-investment. It's anti-jobs. You know, the numbers here are just much worse than you're saying. I mean, for a couple of years, you'd go to 39.6%. But that's not 39.6%. That's 43.4% with the Obamacare tax. And remember, capital gains is double taxed, first as profits and then as capital gains. So you're really talking about a 63% total capital gains tax. Cap gains is one of the most important factors in the economy. It affects risk investment, which we need desperately. It affects business startups, which we need desperately. It affects business expansion and jobs, which we need desperately. This is a punishment. This is a redistributionist. And by the way, it loses money. It loses money. I don't know if you remember a couple years ago when President Obama was interviewed by Charles Gibson of ABC News, and Mr. Gibson said, you know, every time you raise capital gains tax, you lose money on that. Mr. Obama says, yeah, I guess so, but it's fair. What's fair about damaging jobs? That's all I'm saying. That's not fair.
Larry,
that just hurts the economy. Yes, John.
My question is, last week at Delivering Alpha, there was an on-stage discussion that Scott Wapner led with Carl Icahn and Larry Fink arguing about this very point. Larry Fink saying it makes sense to push investment out to a longer term. Icahn, speaking for the activist investors, saying no, we shouldn't be hamstrung in that way. Why is Larry Fink wrong?
Well, look, I have a great deal of respect for Larry Fink. He's a very important professional in our business. But I do think he's wrong. I don't think the government should dictate time horizons, okay? That doesn't mean I agree with Carl Icahn and everything. But I'm not thinking about Carl Icahn, John. I'm thinking more about the ordinary investor. Look, if I see a good business opportunity, if I see a new startup opportunity, why should the government stop me or penalize me from selling now, taking profits off the table, and reinvesting it into a brand new business, which, by the way, might create 20,000 new jobs if we hit the technology jackpot? I don't want government involved in this. It loses money for the federal budget, and it discourages all the animal spirits of economic growth. Look, can I be honest with you? Larry Fink is a sincere guy, all right? And I'd love to talk to him about this long-term, short-term thing. But I do not think that Ms. Clinton is doing anything here, John, but playing politics. She's trying to thread the needle between the Bernie Sanders left-wing socialist crowd and the rest of the Democratic Party.
I want to get